Okay, we are live.
Okay, very good. Excuse me. We'll call the meeting of the Planning Committee of Akron City Council to order. I'm going to ask if we have a motion to accept the minutes of the previously held meeting. Is there a motion?
So move.
I heard, and a second.
Second. I don't know. Whoever.
Very good. We got a second and a motion. Very good. All those in favor of the minutes of the previously held meeting, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Very good. The ayes have it then. So with this, what we will do is we will begin the process for public hearings. We have 3 of them today. And the process for the public hearings is that we first, what we'll do is we'll read in the report from the planning department. Excuse me. After the report is read in, we will then provide an opportunity for testimony for those who are in favor or against, or anyone who may just simply have questions. We'll hear from the public. After that portion is over, we'll then provide an opportunity for council members to make a recommendation or to ask questions or make comments, reference the conditional use requests, public hearings. After that, we will repeat the process this evening. The same process, in essence, will occur as well. And with that process this evening, the committee will make a recommendation to all of council in terms of either in favor, against, or table an item or take time. So that's basically the process. And before every public hearing, what we'll do is we'll have a representative from our law department swear in anyone who wishes to speak to the committee in reference to that conditional use. So that's basically, in essence, the process. So with that, we'll begin.
Okay, it sounds like the councilman might be frozen. If we just want to give him a minute here. Councilman Fesco, if you can hear me, it might help if you leave the meeting and come back. Sometimes that helps. So we'll just hold on just a minute for him. Thanks, everyone.
You're welcome.
I think I'm back. Am I back?
You're back.
You are back. We can hear you now.
Okay, sorry about that, everybody. I guess I just needed a hiatus there. So we'll begin the first public hearing. What I'd like to do is ask Mr. Antonucci to provide for us a report. After that, we'll then swear in anyone who wishes to speak to the council in reference to the conditional use, if that's okay with everybody. With that, Mr. Antonucci, you're on.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman, committee members. Tangier Inc. and the LeBron James Family Foundation seek to develop the top level of the existing parking deck into a sports complex and event space for the students and families of the I Promise School, located nearby 400 West Market Street. Additionally, a second projecting sign would be placed at the northeast corner of this parking deck. The existing deck surface would be reconditioned and striped to provide 3 basketball courts, a soccer pitch with bleachers, a running course, and courts for pickleball and similar activities. A centrally located event space would feature an arched canopy. An enclosed concession area and restrooms would be added near a west stairwell. A mesh fence panel system would be installed along the upper perimeter of the structure. New mural artwork, which is still to be finalized, and painted signage would enliven the most visible portions of the north, east, and west exterior walls of the parking structure. Architectural lighting would accentuate the artwork and mesh facade at night. A new sign, still to be finalized, would project approximately 12 feet from the northeast corner of the deck. Plans were reviewed and approved by the Urban Design and Historic Preservation Commission on the condition that the signage, once finalized, is brought back and reviewed by the commission. The petitioners state the space will be used exclusively by the LeBron James Family Foundation and the I Promise School. The facilities would not be open to the public outside of events hosted by the foundation or the school. The proposed development represents an adaptive reuse of an underutilized structure. The additional activity and bright facade will revitalize the aging parking deck and provide a sense of liveliness to the area. The facility will provide students a safe place for outdoor physical activity, as well as community space for family events in close proximity to their school and homes. Office of Integrated Development, Planning Staff, and Planning Commission recommend approval subject to conditions. Thank you.
Thank you for that most eloquent report, Mr. Antonucci. At this point, we'll swear in, and we have a representative here from our law department who will swear in any individuals that wish to make comment to the committee. We would just ask that you provide for us your name and your address. So with that, I see Ms. Advent, are you here to swear in those that wish to testify?
Yes. Those wishing to speak during this public hearing, please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're going to give is the truth? If so, please say I do.
I do.
I do.
Thank you.
Very good. Well, thank you. And so with that, what we'll now do is ask if there's anyone who has any comments in favor of the conditional use request at 532 West Market Street. Anyone wishes to testify in favor? Yes.
This is Ian Jones with Man Persons Gray Architects, and I just wanted to give an overview of the project if I can do a screen share.
Absolutely, we welcome it.
Okay. Oh, you know what? Host has disabled participant screen sharing.
You should be able to now. Can you give us a try again?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay. Okay, so let me just move this control bar a little bit. Okay, so this is the existing Tangier deck. What we're proposing is to upgrade the exterior and the rooftop of this for a sports complex on the roof. So the initial plan is similar to what Mr. Antonucci described, is basketball courts that would be closer to West Market Street, new restrooms on the roof, and a small concession area as well. A event space that would have some type of covered canopy and a stage area, soccer field, and then another activity that right now we show pickleball, but something that could be to be determined. In the back corner, we have just another little additional structure that would be storage or parking for a small cart that would, move around the rooftop. And as far as the exterior improvements, this gives kind of an overall view from an aerial perspective. And along West Market, we would have a architectural mesh facade treatment that goes outside of the deck along the whole side of West Market, and then wrapping 2 bays on each side. The walls along West Market and those same 2 bays would be painted by a mural artist with imagery, typical of the foundation and inspiration by the I Promise School. So something, engaging and kind of inspirational. And then there would also be on the exterior just some images integrated into the artist's murals of, say, the logos for the foundation or the I Promise School. and potentially partners of the school. So here's a different perspective you can see in an aerial view. And then now at the ground view, you can see also there is a proposed blade sign that this sign is not a final design. A final design will be presented to Urban Design and Historic Preservation Committee for their final approval. So what you see on the corner is just schematic first, first iteration that will be developed further based on feedback from Urban Design and Historic Preservation. And then you can also see how whatever the proposed mural artwork would be would have, some type of other logos integrated, be it the foundation or a partner of the foundation. The existing Tangier sign would be relocated from the center of the building to the corner, just so it's closer to the actual Tangier and kind of gives some space between the foundation sports complex on the roof and the event space of the Tangier. And that's really the architectural side of it. And this is something that would be, used by the foundation. We would maintain secure access points at the stairs. So that would be upgrading the hardware to, it'd be locked, it'd be secured probably with some type of system. And then same would go for at the bottom of the ramp leading up to the roof. That would become a secured entrance as well. There is a potential for a future stair, but that isn't finalized yet, finalized location.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Jones. Very good. Is that all, sir?
Yeah, I'll stop my share right now.
All right, thank you. Yes, is there anyone else wishing to speak in favor of this conditional use request? Anyone wishing to speak in favor? Anyone in favor? Okay. Anyone wishing to speak against the conditional use request at 532 West Market Street? Anyone wishing to speak against? Anyone? Anyone? Okay, very good. Anyone wishing to say anything whatsoever? Okay, not hearing anyone, we'll now close the public hearing portion.
Well, Councilman Fusco, Councilman Lombardo.
Thank you for that. But first, we would like to close the public hearing portion, and then we'll open it up to the committee, and then we'll open it to all of council. I did note that you were kidding. So thank you. So again, I'll ask one last time, is there anyone else wishing to speak in favor or against, or any comments? Okay, very good. Hearing none, excuse me, hearing none, we'll now close the public hearing and ask if there's any committee members have any questions reference the conditional use request. Any committee members whatsoever? Mr. Swirsky, I see your hand is up.
Just I am very grateful for this project. It's in my ward. It's a great service to the community. I do want to ask you again the status of who would be using this facility. Who would it be open to the public? Would it be simply for I Promise students? Who would be using it? So we could sort of determine the public good of this. Yeah.
I assume you're asking Mr. Jones?
Whoever wants to answer, yeah.
I'll respond to that. My name is Michelle Campbell, the Executive Director of the LeBron James Family Foundation. The initial use is for extra outdoor space for our I Promise families that include our families and students at the I Promise School. But we do have plans to open this space to the community if you wanted to rent it for a little kid's birthday party, a graduation party, or something of that nature. That is in our plans.
Thank you.
Excellent. That's great. That's great.
Anything further, Mr. Swirsky?
No, I just urge you to work with the design review committee because I know that there were a number of objections that were raised without getting into all of it. Hopefully it can be worked out so that it's something that's that the sign is welcomed by all, as well as the facility itself. And in meeting with you, it sounded like that was totally your intention. Is that?
That's correct. We did hear about the sign, so I think our conversation, what I want everyone in this meeting to know is we want to be a positive contributing member to our community. We don't want anyone to be angry about a sign or anything that we do. So I ask that you look at our past projects and how we've uplifted this community at 400 West Market Street, at the I Promise School, at the I Promise Village, on 22 roads. We will work with whatever committee it takes to get the sign to a win-win, so everyone in our community is proud of what we're doing.
Very good. Very good.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Lombardo, I saw you had your hand up earlier.
Yes, thank you, Councilman Fusco. I love the project, first of all. I'm a big basketball fan, so I'm just curious, though. I know Mr. Antonucci said that parking deck is underutilized, but with the Tangier restaurant and their banquet facilities, I'm just curious, they never will have a need for that top floor for parking?
Unfortunately, their business has changed and declined over the last 10 years. We've worked very closely with the George family in this partnership and our work with them. And we and they are very confident that we will have adequate parking with both levels. What we've done at the I Promise School, which is 2 blocks away, we don't have enough parking, so they've been generous and allowed us to use their parking lot when we have an overflow there. So I guess in best case scenario, that would be a great problem to have, that we need overflow parking, and we would figure out a way with 400 West Market Street and Bell Music across the street that's owned by the same family to problem solve if need be.
Okay, very good. Further questions or comments from anyone? Looking around here, not seeing anyone. Oh, Mr. Malik.
Thank you, Mr. Fusco. Thank you so much to the folks from the foundation for this project. Like Councilman Swirsky and Councilman Lombardo, I think it's a wonderful project. 2 small questions. First of all, on the wall that's going to be facing West Market, what's the height there? And do we have any concerns about people whose jumper is not too good, having the ball go over the wall? And then the second is if the only access is going to be on the ramp, are there any accommodations that are going to be made for folks with disabilities getting up? Because I think those ramps are a little bit of a grade.
Yeah, I can answer those. The top of the roof deck is at about roughly 18 feet, and the top of that mesh system is about 36 feet. So there's about a 18-foot height that you'll have to block a ball from going from ground level. And those will be, of course, the hoops will be a few feet off, and their rim height is 10 feet. And so I'm sure anyone could intentionally throw a ball over if they wanted to, over the 18 feet. But typical play with a jump shot that even missed the whole backboard, I think it would be caught by the kind of fence system. And as far as accessibility goes, right now our proposed solution is to provide an inclined lift from the second floor of the deck up the ramp to the top level. But we're gonna most likely sit down with the building department as well and just go through all of the issues we see ahead of time and try to resolve those. So, we have a quick process through the building department and make sure everything's up to code and up to their standards.
Appreciate that, Mr. Jones.
Yep, thank you.
Further questions or comments? Okay, not really seeing any. So we'll now move on to the next public hearing. And I'd like to invite those that were here this afternoon for that public hearing to come back this evening at 7. Our next public hearing is ordinance authorizing a conditional use to construct a detached garage within 6 inches of the rear property line at 60 East Dresden Avenue. Mr. Antonucci.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman, committee members. Pete and Donna Segedy intend to replace the current one-car garage with a new two-car garage measuring 24 feet by 24 feet. Petitioners requested that the new garage be set only 6 inches from the property line. As such, conditional use approval is required for a 2-foot, 6-inch variance. The exterior would be vinyl sided with a gabled roof constructed from material that would match the style of the existing house. Corner lots often present unique circumstances for placement of accessory structures. Although the required setback for the detached garage is 3 feet, the 2-foot, 6-inch variance should not have a negative impact on surrounding properties. The adjacent dwelling to the east at 70 East Dresden sits further back on the property. The new garage would provide storage for the family's vehicles, and lawn equipment would only be used for residential purposes. The proposed improvements represent a significant investment in this property, and Office of Integrated Development, Planning Staff, and Planning Commission recommend approval subject to conditions. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Antonucci, for that report. We'll open it up for public hearing. First of all, what we'll do is ask if there's anyone here wishing to testify that could be sworn in by a representative from our law department. Is there anyone here, Sarah, do you see anyone here that may be testifying reference the conditional use at 60 East Dresden?
We did not have anybody sign up ahead of time to join the meeting, and I don't see any hands raised at this time.
Okay, very good. Legally, are we, I'm sure there's no one to swear in, so legally, I assume we're okay to close the public hearing, recognizing no one has stepped up to offer testimony before the committee. So we'll close the public hearing, open it up to any committee members that may have any comments. Mr. Kamer?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I did talk to the petitioner, Pete Segedy, yesterday on the phone. When he started the process a few months ago, I did stop by his property to have a conversation with him, to take a look at what he was doing. I believe he's went above and beyond to reach out to the neighbors and get all the neighbors on board. He also wanted me to let the residents know that he would be able to Zoom in today, but he's not too savvy with the computer. So I told him yesterday that I would let the committee members know that him and I have been in contact over the last couple months, and especially yesterday. He also wanted me to let the committee know that he did just receive a Keep Akron Beautiful award, like he does every year for his property. So moving forward, I'm just asking the committee, I do support this. Pete is basically a lifelong resident of Ward 7. And like I said, his neighbors do support this, and I think it's a good addition to his property in the neighborhood. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Kamer. Anyone else from the committee have any questions or comments? Anyone whatsoever? Anybody have any comments from council? Anyone? Not really seeing anyone here. So we'll close this one and have a conditional use hearing this evening at 7. We'll now move on to the third item that's up for public hearing. Ordinance authorizing conditional use to establish a child daycare business center in a single family district. Mr. Antonucci.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, committee members. Glory Hallelujah Child Care is requesting permission to establish a child daycare business center at this location. The daycare center would occupy the entire structure of an approximate 2,400 square foot building with up to 44 full-time or part-time children ranging from 18 months up to 12 years of age. The site was formerly used as a nursing home for up to 9 residents until 2016. The proposed floor plan is to have separate spaces for toddlers, preschool, and school-age children, including 3 restrooms, as well as other separate rooms that include offices, a kitchen, and a computer or reading room. Child care services will be available Monday through Friday from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. There will be no overnight stays. An outdoor fenced play area measuring 24 feet by 54 feet would be situated along the northwest side of the structure behind the building. The property contains an asphalt driveway with 6 off-street parking spaces, including 1 for handicap. Although the parking area is in fairly good shape, it will be upgraded with asphalt infill, new curbs and walks. Additional landscape material will be planted between the parking area and Slauson Street. The proposed use should not be intrusive to the neighborhood, as the existing building is located along this major road, will be at least 65 feet from the nearest dwelling. The updating and reuse of the former nursing home should not have a negative impact upon the surrounding neighborhood. Instead, it will utilize the vacated site by providing quality daycare services that are beneficial to the entire city and the neighborhood residents. The Office of Integrated Development, Planning Staff, and Planning Commission recommend approval subject to the conditions. Thank you.
Thanks for that report, Mr. Antonucci. We'll now open up the public hearing and ask if there's anyone here wishing to testify in favor of this conditional use request for Child Daycare Center. Anyone here wishing to speak in favor? Yes, hi, Tracy.
Hi.
Here. How you doing?
Okay, Tracy
Welcome
here.
to the committee.
I live at 1129 South Hawkins Avenue. So
Tracy,
directly.
excuse me, I'm sorry, 1 second, please.
Okay.
We have to swear you in, or if there's anyone else here wishing to speak before the committee. It's a formality, but we have to do it.
Okay.
So I'll ask Ms. Advent if she could swear anyone in who wishes to testify.
Okay, please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're going to give is the truth? If so, please say I do.
I do.
I do.
Very good. I heard a couple people there. So, okay, very good. Thank you so much for your patience, Ms. Spear, and you're on.
Okay, I live at directly across the street, 1129 South Hawkins. I've lived there 24, almost 25 years. Prior to me, my grandmother lived in the house 20 years, and I think it's an excellent use for the building. I would like it occupied by such, so I thought daycare was great. I never thought of that. So I'm speaking in favor. I think it will, there's a few empty houses and that was empty. I would like to see it occupied, and I think that's a great idea. So I'm in favor.
Thank you so much. Thank you for that.
Hello.
Is anyone else here wishing to speak in favor?
Yes, this Margot Slaughter.
Okay, very good. You're on.
Yes. I don't know if do I have to swear in?
Did you swear in before?
Oh, no.
Oh,
But I
okay.
am the owner of the property, and I thank the lady for saying that I've never met her. I met her online now. Wow, that's nice. So I don't know exactly what I'm supposed to be saying, but we are going to take care of the property. We are new to the area. We have a childcare right down the street, and we're just trying to have our own location.
Very good. If you didn't get sworn in before, if you wouldn't mind getting sworn in from our
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. Miss Advent?
Okay, Ms. Slaughter, do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're giving today is the truth? If so, please say I do.
I do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, very good. Well, thank you so much. Is there anything else you'd like to offer?
No.
Okay, good. Very good. Well, thank you so much for being here. And we'll invite you both back at 7 o'clock this evening. We'll have a public hearing. After that public hearing, what we'll do is we'll make a recommendation to all of council in reference to this conditional use, okay? We'll either approve, disapprove, or we'll table the item, take time for another day. So that's what works. If you could stick around just for a couple more minutes in case there may be questions from council members. So I'll open it up at this point, close the public hearing, unless there's someone else who wishes to testify either in favor or against. If there's anyone wishing to testify either in favor or against, anyone? Okay. Hearing no one, we'll close the public hearing and open it up to any council members on the committee who may have questions or comments. Anyone with questions or comments on the committee? Not hearing or seeing anyone. How about anyone on council with any questions or comments? Anyone? Anybody? Okay. We're not hearing anyone, so we're gonna.
Mr. Fusco,
Okay, I hear a voice. I don't see a hand.
Linda
but-
Mobian.
Oh, hi. Okay, very good.
Linda,
Yes. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I was trying to get somebody's hand real quick.
Mr. Mobian? Uh-oh. I'm having some difficulties.
The petitioner, the one that's going to run the daycare. Some time ago, we were informed that there were some new regulations put out in the future. Are you aware of those regulations?
I'm sorry, what, the audio's, we're having a bit of a problem.
Who's operating the Zoom?
I don't know.
I can always ask her later because I don't think they're expected right away. But
Okay.
Sarah
Okay.
here.
Sarah?
I'm here.
Can you hear me?
You know, you're breaking up a lot. You might want to, do you want to try to leave and come back and see if that helps? Sometimes that helps.
You can also try calling from another cell phone or a landline. I have the number and information in the chat.
Okay. We'll give it a minute, I guess.
Thanks everyone for your patience. Okay, Councilwoman Amobian is coming back into the meeting. If we want to just give her a moment to reconnect to audio.
Now can you hear me?
Still a bit of
It's still breaking up pretty bad. It's real hard to understand you. Do you want to try to do the call-in number that's in the chat and just do audio only so we can hear?
How about while we're working on that, if we can move on with the rest of the, and then if you can come back, we'll hear your question. It's just not quite coming through. Miss Margot and Miss Tracy, if you guys can hang on for just a few more minutes, we're going to go on with the rest of the agenda. And
Okay.
Okay.
any luck? Okay, how about if we move on to the rest of the agenda for temporarily here, and then if Ms. Amovian can get back on, then she could ask her question, and if the petitioner and the neighbor could and the property owner could hang on for just a minute in case there's a question. Yes. Not coming in so well.
Okay, this is her phone coming in now, so maybe we can try just the audio.
Okie dokie. Well, be patient and wait.
Hello.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
I think
Yes.
we can. Okay. Okay, Ms. Amovian, let's try it again.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
No problem.
The question I was raising, I was asking a petitioner if she was aware of the new expectations from the state regarding daycare providers that they were going to have to provide. It's something that has to do with computerized information at some date and time. It sounded like it was coming within a year or two. I wasn't sure if they were aware of that.
Hi, yes, I am aware of that. It's not into writing as of yet, but soon as it does get into, yes, I am aware of that for Ohio licensing standards.
Okay. Okay, no, I was just curious because I know that when we heard from one family, they were creating some additional standards that people would have to meet. And I wasn't sure if you were aware, but sounds like you are. Thank you very much.
Thank you so
Mr.
much.
Fusco. I'm going to hang up and just observe.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Any further questions or comments reference the third public hearing today, Daycare Center? Anyone else? Okay, very good. With that, we're going to continue to take time on the balance of the agenda, short of any questions or comments. And we'll move into the new list of legislation at this time. The first, which is there is a substitute offered as amendment, which appears as item number 4 on your new list. That was a public hearing, our first public hearing. So we'll just skip over that one. We'll now move on to item number 5, which is authorizing the mayor or his designee to file applications and enter into agreements for funding for certain capital improvements under the Ohio Public Works Commission's Local Transportation Improvement Program and the State Capital Improvements Program, committing city funds for the local share for these improvements. Mr. Ashley, I believe, is here in reference to this one. Mr. Ashley, you're on.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee. This ordinance authorizes the mayor to file applications and enter in agreements for capital improvements under the Ohio Public Works Commission State Capital Improvement Program and Local Transportation Improvement Program. The city has utilized this annual funding source since 1989 for a variety of projects, including roadway improvements, water and sewer facilities, as well as the Bridgestone, Goodyear, and Amazon development. The 8 projects listed are included in the 2020 capital budget and the 5-year investment plan. The requested OPWC funding this year is approximately $14 million, a local share of $1 million with other federal and state funds, including low interest loans, at $12.4 million. And I would be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Ashley. We'll now open it up for questions from any committee members. If there's any questions or comments. Hearing none. Okay, very good. These are, I do understand. Any council members have any questions? Or I see Mr. Ashley. Any council members? Not really seeing any that may have questions or comments on this. So I understand time is of the essence as this is due on November 3rd. So I believe the department is requesting passage. This is correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. This is application for matching funds. Obviously, the city will have skin in the game, if you will. We are required to participate in these programs, and I know they're evaluated. And so if there isn't any questions or comments, I would entertain a motion that we suspend the rules with a favorable report at this time. From anyone? Mr. Kramer?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Second, I hear a second. All those in favor of suspension of the rules with a favorable report signify by saying aye.
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 Against? Very good, the ayes have it. With that, we are now adjourned. Planning is adjourned. Thank you all. Sarah, you have an announcement for the next meeting?
Yes, our next meeting today is going to be the Rules Committee, and that's at 2:45.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we can hang out on here, mute your